Comfort while riding is something that is always sought after by customers when they are buying an e-bike from us, but it is not always easy to find. Even on the cushiest, most upright, fattest tires, the suspension seat post, every comfort feature, there is always something that can be made better to give you a more comfortable ride. So today we are going to talk about some easy ways to make your bike more comfortable, more rideable, and more enjoyable in the long term. And these are all things that you can do yourself as certified by me, someone who, as my dad would say, has the fine motor skills of a mealworm. Thanks, Dad. That was great for my self-confidence. Let's check out the best ways that you can upgrade your e-bike so that it is more comfortable in the long run. Let's check them out. So a great place to start when you're looking to upgrade your ride so that it's more comfortable for you are the points of contact that you are making with the bike, namely your butt, your hands, and your feet. So, of course, the butt connects with the saddle. There is essentially an endless supply of upgrades you can make in the saddle. They've got stuff that is good for EMTBs, stuff that's good for leisure riding, stuff that's good for commuting, even stuff that's good for racing. So there's too many to talk about, but I will make a few recommendations here. I have always been a big fan of ERGON stuff. They have a lot of saddles that are e-bike specific now. They're actually really refocusing on this because the industry is kind of refocusing on e-bikes, which is great to see. So ERGON would be a great place to start. I think their ST Core series is a great place to look. I am a big fan of Brooks saddles. Yes, they take a while to break in, but they last forever, and once they conform to your butt, as they do over the course of like 500 miles, they are perfect. They're fantastic. I personally use the Brooks Flyer saddles. I think those are really good. SELLE Royale also has some excellent options, and a lot of these you can get for like less than 50 bucks, so those are pretty great. They make some cruiser style ones that are pretty wide if you want to keep more surface area on the bootay. And you also have one of my favorites, the Specialized Cup saddle, which comes on their Turbo Como series. Another thing that sort of goes along with your butt point of contact is going with a suspension seat post. Now, hands down, our favorite suspension seat post over at Fly Rides is the BODYFLOAT, made by KINEKT. The BODYFLOAT is made for riders anywhere from like 150 pounds and less, up to 250 pounds, I believe. It'll add a full suspension feel to a hardtail bike, basically just adding comfort for on or off roads. Quite frankly, it's pretty good for anywhere. Another suspension seat post that is pretty solid is the KINEKT THUDBUSTER. It's going to add the same type of feel. In my experience, it's a little bit stiffer, so if you want some of that comfort, but you don't want like complete like full suspension feel, just maybe a little bit of give in the seat post, KINEKT is the way to go. But for that full suspension feel, I think BODYFLOAT is probably my top choice. Now, these aren't the cheapest upgrades in the world, but they are very easy to install. So I definitely think this is probably the top comfort upgrade that people do. In my experience, people add these all the time, and people seem to love them. Your next point of contact that's going to be a good place to look when you're looking for comfort is your grips. Most bikes, to be completely honest, come with pretty crappy grips. I won't name any names because I'd be naming every bike manufacturer in the industry pretty much. It's just not a place that most bike manufacturers put their focus, essentially, when they are trying to make great bikes. You know, it's easy to get away with putting cheap kind of grips on there, so they generally do. My favorite, hands down, are ERGON grips. Basically, they have loads of different options. Your GP ones, your GS ones, yeah, all the way up. There's all sorts of different stuff. What I like the most about ERGON grips is that A, they are designed to be ergonomic and conform to your hands a little bit, but they also have varying degrees of bar ends as well. So if you're doing long distance riding, you're gonna be on that bike for quite some time. It is really nice to have the ability to have your hands out wide or keep them in. Basically, it's just nice to have the variety of places you can put your hand as opposed to just on the grips themselves. So ERGON is a great place to look for grips. Another good thing to think about when you're thinking about your hands is wearing gloves. So I am partial to the Fox DIRTPAW gloves. I think those do pretty well for me. And guys, I know it's not really an upgrade to your bike, but it is a cheap way to get more comfort out of that ride. Another point of contact that a lot of people don't think about is your feet. So your feet to the pedals. The reason I mention pedals is because I have found myself multiple times having my feet slip off the pedals. They end up running into your shin, stuff like that. So what I like to go with is a wider pedal that has like a wider base to it. Something like the Chester race face pedals I think is a great option to start with. Get you a little bit wider. There's some cleats on it so your feet actually stick to the pedals and you're not having to worry about having those feet slip off and having that pedal hit you in the shin. The final upgrade we're going to talk about is your tires. So tires are a really easy upgrade to make. And honestly, it's not something a lot of people do. Most people just kind of take what they are given. But there's a lot of stuff you can do to make the tires more comfortable outside of just trying to make them bigger. Something a lot of our customers find themselves doing is buying EMTBs, but they're actually using them on roads 80 to 90% of the time. So what you can do to add a little bit of comfort in this situation is change out those knobby tires with more of a street tire. Something like the Super MOTO-X is good from SCHWALBE. Those are gonna add, again, they're more of a road feel. You're not gonna have the bumpiness in that tire. So they're more appropriate and they're gonna add a little bit of protection from hazards on the road as well. Nails and stuff like that. Now you could go ahead and upgrade the size of the tire, so the width of the tire if you wanted to, but you just want to make sure you have enough clearance in the fork and in the rear dropouts as well, so that if the wheel goes slightly out of true, you're not going to be striking the fork. So just be careful of that. You can go wider, but you just want to make sure you have that clearance before adding that upgrade. So those are the easy ways that you can make your bike more comfortable all by yourself without having to worry about anybody helping you out. Like this video, you guys, and subscribe to this channel, and make sure that you leave a comment below. Let me know what you've done to your bike alone, especially if you're not great with mechanics, to make your bike more comfortable, because I'd love to hear what people out there are doing, because I might do it to my own bike. Thanks for watching, you guys. We will see you next time.